No. No.
Those are modern guns.
Modern guns. No. 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 Yes. No. 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 Yes. No. Yes. No. 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 Yes.
Gun shop owners are going to have a problem, and they are not the only ones. Gun owners will have to check if their barrels can cope with certain kinds of steel and change those barrels if necessary. High bird shoots will have to insist on lead alternatives at up to £3 per cartridge. But the organisations are united and standing firm on this one. They want lead shot, plastic wads and plastic cartridge cases voluntarily phased out by 2025.
If we want to continue to sell game meat and we want to continue to have a market and we want shooting to be sustainable, there's a degree of switching over at some point. This is all the organisations have come together to make this statement. It isn't just PACEC, it isn't just the Countryside Alliance, because we all believe that this is something that needs to be done for the long-term good of shooting.
Lead shot looks like it's on its way out. That's the new plan from all of the shooting organisations. PACEC, the Countryside Alliance, even smaller organisations such as SACS are backing the plan.
For many of you, you'll already have made the transition away from lead shots, even partly. For others, this is new ground. However, we must look at this as an opportunity and not a threat. After the transition, shooting will be in a far stronger place.
So, first of all, what will happen to gun barrels? PACEC firearms expert Bill Harriman says steel shot is a problem we can get used to.
A lot of people ask me whether steel shot is safe to use in their guns. There are two types of steel cartridges, standard steel and superior steel. Standard steel can be used in any gun which has been proved for nitro or smokeless powders and which remains in proof. Superior steel cartridges are much heavier loads and can only be fired in a gun which has a fleur-de-lis proof mark on it, rather like this one.
Here's Johnny Carter, gunsmith at the gun shop Botley in Hampshire.
The boys who are putting lots and lots of cartridges through their guns anyway, let's say the pigeon shooters and the clay people, most of their guns will be steel-proof anyway, so it's not going to affect them too much, apart from that steel shoots slightly differently and is ballistically different. The real issue here is people really hate change. We've been using the same guns and the same tech and the same shot for hundreds of years. If the science is out there to say that lead is bad, we're going to change, you know? Or else we as an industry do look a little bit archaic and heel diggy. But it's not the end of the world. It's amazing. There is alternatives to steel. It's not just going to be a change to steel. Don't worry, your gun will be fine.
West Country gun shop owner Dennis Stepney serves the high bird shoots of Exmoor, and he is not so sure. He says there will have to be changes to the way we shoot and what we shoot with. At the start of this piece, he showed us the modern guns.
And you can virtually say that from here onwards, nothing will shoot steel. So you're asking me now to take a big raft of my stock, what I've worked for, what I've built up, and throw it in the bin, shall we?
Among the major problems are plastic wads. You can have fibre wads and lead shot, but until technology improves, most steel shot is delivered in plastic cups or wads. Ammunition manufacturers need to overcome this if they want the shooting organisation's dreams to come true.
Well, steel on steel is never good. It needs a protection agent between them. There's other issues as well, and that is, of course, you can't condense steel, so choking is a problem. And the knowledgeable know that you shouldn't shoot steel through anything more than half choke. The cartridge manufacturers, I have no doubt, are working exceptionally hard to find a way of getting a biodegradable protection agent. I know Gamebore are certainly working on things at the moment. Obviously, Ely have been working with their wads and whatever, and let's face it, as a shooting man, I salute them, because we don't want plastic wads, nobody does. But by the same token, I do want to make sure that my gun, the one I love, is safe from steel shot.
There are question marks over how easy it will be for the ammunition industry to change from production of hundreds of millions of lead cartridges to the same number of steel cartridges. However, there are moves in a greener direction, as this cartridge maker claims.
So what we've got here is a case and a wad from a company called Bioammo, which are a brand new Spanish cartridge manufacturer. They have received an €8 million grant to build this state-of-the-art factory in northern Madrid. What we've got, which makes this better and different to what else is on the market, is this is made from a plant-based resin. So it's 100% compostable, biodegradable. In 12 to 18 months, if you put this into the ground or if you shoot it, the wads are going to go and land in the soil, stamp them in, leave it, come back, you won't find them. They'll turn into compost and completely degrade. We are loading these in a range from 24 gram up to 32 gram currently in both lead and steel. Going to look to increase to other weights as well, get heavier as the process goes on for a little bit longer. We've got 12 bores at the moment, which we're going to be moving into 20 bores later on this year, and we are going to be importing into the UK within the next month.
Questions remain. Is this all just greenwashing? Is lead shot really that bad? We've been shooting lead into the UK landscape for 500 years. Is this voluntary ban too little, too late? There's plenty of science showing how it kills birds and reduces their breeding success, because birds pick up pellets to use as grit. And the big one, does lead shot really damage human health? Mike Quint is a toxicologist.
No level of exposure to lead is a good thing. The critical effects that are seen at the lower doses, I mean at high doses it can cause extreme damage and even death, but at the lower doses, long sustained exposure to lead could result in higher blood pressure, and in children there's definitely evidence that it affects their neurological development and behavioural issues, and including decreases in IQ. So not a good thing at any age.
If I swallow a few pellets, what's that likely to do?
Well, most of it, obviously you're right, in its elemental form, which is what it is in a pellet, it's going to pass straight through the body. A little bit will dissolve in the stomach acid, pass through into the blood. It'll tend to get stored in the body. So lead's one of these things that once it's in you, it doesn't just pass straight through or get decomposed and then goes out either end. It can reside in mainly the bones where it accumulates. So most of it will pass through from a single pellet, definitely. But remember, in a shot bird or mammal, it's not only the lead. The lead won't only be present in pellet form. There'll also be little fragments of lead, much smaller, and they'll obviously be much more amenable to getting dissolved and passing into the blood. So, one way or another, I think minimising the number of pellets or pelleted birds or pelleted meat is a good thing.
So far, only a few countries in Europe have banned lead shot, and Norway even reversed its ban. Denmark got rid of lead shot in the 1990s. Danish shooter Jens Hoeg says the ban works for shooters.
Yes, we had a ban in place in 1993. It came into full effect in 96. So for 24 years, we've actually been completely banned from using lead in shotgun ammunition. And in the beginning, the hunters were very worried that there would be a lot of technical problems. And to be honest, in the beginning there was, because they did not have really the technology to make steel shot very efficient. But over the years, we just must admit that technology caught up with all the worries. So now we don't have any issues whatsoever using steel shot in Denmark.
So I've got very old shotguns from the 19th century, which I love very much. Can I use? Is it okay to use steel shot in them?
Well, the experience we have from Denmark is that yes, it is perfectly okay, even with Damascus barrels. But that worry is exactly what most hunters in Denmark were worried about. But actually, they tried to provoke, blasting chambers and barrels and stuff like that, and it was almost impossible for them to get a gun to explode. And we, to my knowledge, we didn't have a single accident in 24 years. Obviously, the issue can be scratches on the inside of the barrel, but using modern ammunition with plastic cups that protects the barrel, it's not really an issue. We even shoot roe deer with shot in Denmark. So
with steel shot.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
No.
Okay, so we have a thing here in the UK about shooting very, very tall birds. That's going to have to stop, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a technical problem due to the density of steel shot. That's the challenge to keep the velocity over long range is not ideal with very light shot material. So in general, the longest shot we take in Denmark now, after steel shot has been the norm, so to speak, is 25-30 meters. So 70 meters is completely out of the question and has been for many years.
There are still questions over whether the shooting organisations can enforce this voluntary ban, whether they can get around the problem of shooters stockpiling cartridges, whether the sudden nature of this announcement will please their members, and if the headline the organisations are looking for, "Shooters Go Unleaded," will be replaced by the headline, "Shooting in Turmoil on Lead."
There's lots of myths around this, and I think if we look to Denmark, who've made this transition 20 odd years ago, they will say that lots of those myths have fallen away. The organisations have done a lot of work on this in the last few months. If you go to our website, for example, from today, we've got FAQs, we've got technical advice. Our firearms team is there for people who want to call in and want to speak to firearms experts if they're concerned about their guns and their old guns. So we think we've dealt with, or we are dealing with a lot of that. And the important thing is this isn't a ban now. This is a 5-year transition, and we want people to come along with us. We want people to support the cartridge manufacturers and the gun industry, so that in 5 years we're in a much better place than we are now to deal with some of the things that we need to deal with. And if we take away this issue around lead and make that easier, it makes the other things that we're doing easier to fight, and it gives us more time and more resources to fight on the things like wild justice, like the legal challenges that are very important at the minute also.
What do you think? Are your game shooting clouds leaden, or do your clouds have a silver lining? And if you want more information on this voluntary lead ban, talk to your shooting organisation.